Hello, guys, and welcome to the online tournament, the Gridiron online tournament here in Europe. We've got the semi-finals and the finals coming at you here live today. My name is Ton, and I am here once again, as per usual, with Alex Frew. How's it going, mate? I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. It's a new game mode, right? We haven't touched any Gridiron before this, and we've got the top 4 teams in Europe battling it out here for a lot of money. So great. Can't wait to get into it.
Really can't wait to get into it. And, it's just been one of these things where ever since it's been announced, I've been like, can't wait to cast that, can't wait to cast that, can't wait to cast that. Just so excited. But if you guys aren't sure what Gridiron is or you haven't had a chance to play it, let us explain it to you as best we can. Of course, for a lot of people would ask for a single life mode and they got a hold of it.
Oh yeah, that's it, right? I mean, we've been asking for this for decades, and it's finally come through. It really has, as you can see here. What is Gridiron? It's first to 13 points. Capture the flag, you deliver it, you get that touchdown, you gain some points. On the other side of things, you can get an execution, you kill all the other team, you get points that way as well. It's pretty simple, it's straightforward, but it's clutch, it's hype. It's a great game mode, and I can't wait to get into it.
Very, very excited. Max of 13 rounds. It's first to 13 points, so keep an eye on that throughout the rest of it. But let's have a look at what games we will be seeing throughout this show. Of course, throughout the night, we're going to get through it. This tournament will be done and dusted, but throughout the weekend, they were competing to get to this point. Let's have a look at the bracket, the top 4 in this one, if we can as well. It's the teams that we expected, though, when we do get it up. Of course, mostly pro league teams, of course, in every.
Yeah. Very, it's 3 out of the 4, right? We see Team Sick there kind of breaking the trend, but Rated R, Elevate, Regal Reserve, all showing up, all having fantastic brackets. Elevate actually went completely undefeated in terms of maps as well, so it looks like they've customized to the new game mode pretty quickly. Team Sick, though, we'll learn more about those later, I'm sure, but they've done well to get themselves to this position.
Yeah, and there's somebody to look out for, but a tough task going up against Rated R. I was actually catching in to Marsh's stream all the way through on the weekend when they were playing, of course, and Rated R. I don't want to say they struggled, but there was a couple of games where they really did have to grind on through to get the result that they wanted, but eventually did get through. They are a team who work on a lot of aggression, a lot of fast-paced gears, and maybe this game mode has caught them off guard a little bit, but we will see throughout the rest of the night. But let's talk about that first game, Rated R against Team Sick. Excited for this one, it has to be said. You look at the other side, you look at how well Elevate have been playing in the Pro League, you look at how well they did in the bracket, of course, and you do wonder how that game's going to go between them and Regal Reserve. Of course, I said a very, very different game mode. But let's talk about the first team. Let's talk about Rated R. Right now, sitting at the top of the Pro League, they've been in the best form they've ever been in, full stop. Are they your favourites for tonight? Because I'm curious on this one. I think that's the beauty of it. When we go in the Pro League, we sort of got a general idea for the most part of who's going to win the games. But now in a new game mode, it's hard to sort of understand whether Rated R are going to continue this unbeaten streak.
I mean, there's a few questions in that, and I think the one about Radar, are they my favorites going into this? Yes, they're coming in as that top seed in terms of the Pro League. Are they my favorites? No, they're not actually. Elevate are. I've got to put money on them. Back in Ultimate Edition, they were fantastic. The lads on Elevate at that single life game mode play in execution, and I think this is their bread and butter, to be quite honest with you. So they would be my favorites. Rated R, though, I would definitely put them second in the list. I think their raw skill, their aggression, their fast-paced gameplay is something that can translate well from Escalation to Gridiron. They've just got to be able to manage those lives, manage those deaths, and if they can get that under control, if they can keep things, at a pretty good state in terms of keeping themselves alive, don't let those flags slip through. I think they've got a very good chance this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've got a very, very good squad, and they've got a solid chance. And you look at them up against Elevate, I think that's what their final everyone is expecting. But a team not to sort of look past has to be Team Sick, of course. Full of people that haven't necessarily played in the Pro League. Reader, of course, is one in there who has been in there under Regal Reserve so far this year. So he's definitely somebody to sort of keep an eye on. But the fact that they beat Obey, was that a surprise to you?
A little bit of a surprise. I know all the members on this team. There are some very, very talented players on Team Sick. To beat Obey, though, and Obey having gone through a couple of those requalification tournaments for the Pro League and having been unbeaten in those tournaments, that was a little bit of a surprise to see them coming out. It was a very close game. It was a 3-2 series. I know that Obey were up 2-0 and they choked it once again. So Team Sick, they've managed to mount that comeback and get back in. They're well deserved, and yeah, it's going to be interesting to see them play today.
And just just to touch on Obey slightly, because we did expect to have them here, things have obviously gone worse to worse for them. Hopefully they can start to pick it up, but obviously Gridiron not necessarily working out for them. But I did actually have a chance to speak to one of the members of Team Sick. I had a chat with Rita about Gridiron. Guys, I'm here with Rita from Team Sick. Now, Team Sick are a team who are not in the Pro League, have former Pro League members such as Rita in there, though, and they actually upset the odds and beat Obey Alliance to find themselves in the semi-final. Rita, how are you guys finding Gridiron?
Oh, to be honest, Gridiron is like a really good mod. Remember me of Execution, and to be honest, it's like better than Execution for me. Like they have no stalemate in this mod, because if the team don't win and don't kill each other, they are like the team who got the flag got like 1 point. So a good mod, to be honest.
So you took part in the competition over the weekend as well, beating Obey Alliance. Considering you used to be in the Pro League, it must have been a nice feeling to get one over on those guys.
Yeah. To be honest, that was a good feeling. But like I said to my team, and like I think we can beat every team on the Pro League actually.
Do you think that's specifically because of Gridiron, or do you just think your team's that good?
No. I just think my team is good and we can beat anyone. That's all. We are all good players. I'm a good DGL, so we can beat anyone, to be honest.
So you must feel confident going into today's games?
Yeah. Against Rated R, that will be a tough game, but we can make it. We all think the same thing, and I know we can beat them.
Where do you see Gridiron fitting into Gears Esports? Would you add it in with Escalation, or would you add it instead of Escalation?
Now, to be honest, I think Gridiron have to be with Escalation, because it's like Call of Duty or other game like that. You need to have like much mod to make the team practice on much mod too and be good at all this mod. So I think they have to be with Escalation.
How confident are the team going into the game against Rated R?
We know what we have to do, we know our strength, we know our weakness, so we know what we have to do to beat them, so we are really confident, to be honest.
He's a confident boy, it has to be said.
Yeah.
In that Team 6 squad then did go on to beat Obey Alliance, as said. I think a lot of people would have looked at this and thought, well, it makes things maybe a little bit easier for their opponents. But I don't know. I think, it's somebody different in there that Rated R won't be used to playing against. Yes, okay, they would have played them at some point during Gears 5. I'm sure they would have scrimmed them or played them in a tournament, etc. Obviously, Rita was in Riga Reserve, so they would have played against him. However, it's a different thing to contend with if you're Rated R. It's a team you probably don't play that much, is what I'm trying to say, on top of a new game mode. So it's not exactly clean cut, is it?
No, not at all. It's actually a very difficult task for Rated R, in my opinion. I think there are some players on that roster on Team Sick that are, they are at Pro League caliber. I would call out Cookies, I would call out Notorious and Reader as well, specifically, as being players that, can be at that level when they are playing well. And we've seen it from a lot of these players. Notorious actually coming through and winning one of the EGL 2v2 tournaments recently. The raw skill is there. And when it comes down to the single life game mode, the raw skill can carry you through it. If you have, 4 good rounds, 5 good rounds, that's enough to put your team on your back and, get enough points to carry you through that game. It changes a close game to a one-sided game, just like that. So I think they have to be wary of Team Sick, and I think they have to give them the respect they deserve. Do I agree with Reader's point, saying he thinks they can beat any team in the Pro League? Maybe on Gridiron, but not overall, not Escalation. But I do like the confidence. I do like the confidence, and I like that he is coming in, leading that team, and making sure that his team knows that he does believe in them. That's one of the the fundamentals of Gears. You got to believe in your team.
Well, I mean, if you're not winning tournaments, you're losing. Nobody remembers seconds. So you got to have some, even if it feels like maybe delusional confidence, you've still got to have it there, of course. But we do have the picks and bans coming in for the very first game. Of course, this is going to be Rated R against Team Sick. First and foremost, the ban comes in. Canals is gone. Rated R, no. Why are you doing this to me? Straight away, I wanted to see it. Anyway, Icebound has then gone immediately after, and I think, it's very hard to read into these because we don't know how good any of these guys are on these maps, but it just gives us maybe something we can look back on later on in the final, of course. Bunker is then picked by Team Sick. Then we will see District coming out of Rated R. All Fathers Arena then coming in as well. Asylum and Vazgar coming after those two. Just to remind you guys, if you hadn't noticed, it's best out of 5. So we could be here for a while, strap it in, get the beers on the go. Unfortunately, I can't do that because I have to cast, although maybe later on down the line we might get one.
For the final.
Maybe for the final.
If it goes to round map 5.
Oh, God, yeah. If it goes to map 5, yeah, I'm going downstairs to get a beer. But of course, we do have plenty of games to come. And I like All Fathers Arena, honestly. I've been trying to play that map as much as I can. I mean, I say it to get used to it. It is literally just a very symmetrical, a relatively, I don't want to say it's small, but to me, it feels small because of the close quarters engagements. It's a map that we won't have seen so far throughout the Pro League, so it's going to be nice to have something different.
Yeah, it's 100% different. It's one of those that I've been looking forward to see for a long time since its inception into the game, and to bring it here on Gridiron, I think it plays quite well on Gridiron. I like what I see. I like how it plays. To be honest with you, for this mode specifically, I think it's better suited to Gridiron than it is Escalation. So fantastic to see it come in, and in our first cycle, we're guaranteed to see it. It's on that map 3.
Lovely. Yeah, I know. I've known about it for quite some time, like having the interchangeable maps, of course, where you can change the covers around, etc., etc. I've known about it for ages and haven't been able to speak anything of it, but I'm really happy that it's in there. We're going to get to see it. I got it. Bloody Canal's gone instantly. Just an absolute classic Gears map that would have been in there. But either way, I think you're right. I think we will see it throughout the course of the night. But yeah, again, it's your picks and bans are there, but it's hard for us to really look into them. In all honesty, I mean, for me personally, anyway, I'm not looking at anything here and thinking, oh, that's a good map for Rated R, because we haven't seen them play it outside of. I mean, I think I've seen them play some obviously on the lead up to the tournament through March's stream. I've seen them play All Fathers Arena. They were very aggressive through the middle of the map. Yeah. What sort of play do you think we're going to see in Gridiron? Because I looked at a lot of different things when I was thinking about Gridiron. I was like, is this going to be slow? Is it going to be about picks? Is it going to be a slow start? Our team's going to be worried. Do you think it's like just to the point now where people are still trying to figure it out?
I think somewhat. I mean, having a look at these bands specifically in front of us, I kind of feel like I can start to determine how these teams are going to play, to be honest with you. I can see here that Rated R, they're going for maps where the initials are very much key, right? It's very, very aggressive, strong, head down, basically face-to-face initials in District and in All Fathers where you have to meet the other team. Bunker, on the other hand, a little bit more kind of slow pace, a little bit more set back. I can see why Team Sick are going for trying to get away from that aggression that we've seen from Rated R in the Pro League. So I kind of feel like the picks and bans are definitely quite split in terms of how the maps play out. I think Asylum also is one more of those maps that's can be a little bit slower if played the right way. So I think the teams are starting to differentiate themselves, and I think that's why Canals has gone, because that can get quite campy. We've seen it in old games before, right? Rated R, they don't want to sit on bridge. They don't want to have a snipe off with someone else. They want to get into the fight and they want to play it how they're playing.
I want them to have a snipe off. I mean, I missed that sort of thing about Gears of War. Of course, I haven't had to cast over any execution at any point, but I remember when I used to watch it quite a lot and used to play it myself as well. Execution was the sort of go-to. It was all about the single life mode. You're popping yourself up, going up against another sniper. You are risking nearly everything there. You go down, a headshot comes in, you're done. That's it. You're out. There's no reviving you at that point. So it's a risky scenario that I always like to see, but either way, we won't see Canals coming up. Bunker will be the first map. What sort of chance are we giving Sick here? Are we giving them a really good one? Because honestly, I think that is my expectations, and my thought is new game mode. Team still trying to get used to it. They're a team who beat a Pro League team somewhat unexpectedly, albeit been playing poorly very recently. I don't know what my expectations are for this one. I think if I was to put it down to raw talent, I know Rated R are fantastic, but is this other team in Team Sick going to be good enough to match them at that level?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I don't think they will be. I think the raw skill will bring Rated R through this, but I do feel like Reader and the gang will have a chance here. I'm not going to rule them out. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0. I think we are going to see maybe a 3-1, potentially a 3-2, but I do think it will still go Rated R's way, just because they're the type of team that, for me at least, they get carried through on just pure adrenaline, right? Once they get going, they're difficult to stop. And I think Gridiron is a very momentum-based mode, so can still see it going Rated R's way, but I would not, I would not count Team Sick out. I think they've come back against Obey before, right? They were 2-0 down there. They came back 1-3-2. There's nothing to say they can't do it against Rated R. Absolutely nothing.
It'll be interesting to see it and see a lot of you guys in here at live.gearsofwar.com, of course, to tune into the Gridiron tournament, because we do indeed have skins. We've got skins on the go, and let's just get it out there. The EU stream skins are significantly better. They've definitely given us the better weapon. For one, we got the talk in there, and that's all that you really care about, for, let's be honest. So, I mean, that's in, and I'm in it myself at this moment in time to make sure I do get a hold of them. But, of course, if you tune into the EU stream, and if you guys are here looking for those skins, you tune in the NA stream as well, you get the other ones. They're not as good. The same skin, but not on the good weapons either way. But you need to tune in on both to get the Wyvern skin on the snub, which the Wyvern skin on the Lancer, by the way, you need to make sure that, I think you still have a couple of days to get into some of the Gridiron tournaments. If you have missed out on that, there's very much worth one of the ladders, to get into and get a hold of the Wyvern Lancer skin. But the snub one you get by watching the EU stream now and the NA stream later. We love to see it. We love free skins.
We do.
And the Wyvern ones are solid through. They're solid.
I love them. I can't wait for the whole set. I want to rock those. But the stained glass ones, that's what I rock currently. The talk boat, that's one I need to add to my arsenal. And as you said, it's the best one. So I'm happy to see it.
Okay. I'm glad you're happy, mate. I'm glad you're
Thanks.
happy. But
I'm sure it was all for me. I'm sure.
Yeah, that was it. Like, what is Fru like? We'll put that in the European one. We are nearly ready to go, guys. We're nearly ready to go, guys. And we are just waiting on a couple of players getting into the game, and then we will get started up as soon as possible. I'm curious, though, because we have heard the conversation quite a lot around where do they want to see Gridiron in Gears Esports. I'm sort of on the... I've got mixed opinions on it, because I think that, it depends which way they want to go with it. Do you want to put 2 game modes in and make it have to diversify, where teams have to be good at 2 different things? Or do you want to put something in where everyone has to be very, very... It is basically about who's the best at either Escalation or Gridiron. It's not necessarily about, having to be diverse to a point. I would like to... I'm not too sure what I would prefer to see for both, or just one.
For me, you know what? It's difficult because I have a little bit of a love for Escalation, but I love single life, and for me, I could play this all day, and I get that feeling when I play Gridiron. Like I just want to play one more game. I just want to play one more game, and I'm never kind of fatigued while playing it, and that's why for me, at least, if I was a player still, I just want to be playing Gridiron. However, I think as a spectator kind of sport, and for us on the desk and for the players, I think having 2 in there makes it a little bit more interesting, and will start to split teams a little bit, right? We'll see some teams that are better at Gridiron, some teams that are better at Escalation. And, in the grand scheme of things as well, we might see more maps because of it. So, yeah, I think it's healthier to go for 2, but personal opinion, I'd rather have 1.
Okay, we'll wait and see what happens with that. I'm sure with how it is being pushed in the form of this stream, of course, as well, we will get to see Gridiron in some shape or form competitively. And I think this is our first big opportunity to see how good it is going to be in a very high competitive level. Of course, there has been, other tournaments going on online, but there is a very, very good prize pool on the go for this one. So make sure you guys are getting excited for this. We are nearly ready to go into this, as far as I'm aware. What predictions for the whole thing then? Are you still going to Elevate? Are you still just feeling the the experience, the veteranship on their side of things? Do you think they'll be able to take this?
I do. I honestly do. I actually think that Regal Reserve have a better chance of beating Elevate than Rated R do. Okay. Quite honestly, I think that team specifically, led by with Jack in there, it's got some caliber when it comes to single life. Let me put it that way. And he's always been fantastic at that kind of style of game mode, as have Elevate, but I think that will just be a really good matchup. Rated R, they're a bit more new school, and I kind of feel like they're more suited to the kind of respawn modes. Yeah, I feel like Elevate, they're my pick for today. I can see, what I can see happening actually is Rated R winning this. I can see Elevate winning their semi. I can see them fighting out. I can see Elevate winning this one and then losing to Rated R at Escalation next week on Monday for the Pro League final.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of how I see the whole thing, but I could be wrong.
Well, there's a lot to sort of take in on that respect, I suppose. The Escalation very, very different. But if you guys obviously haven't seen or haven't tuned into the Pro League, we're going into the final week between Elevate and Rated R. Rated R have already beat them once this season, and Elevate's only game they've actually managed to lose was, of course, against Rated R. So it's coming down to the final week, basically. Whoever wins this game pretty much goes on to finish top of the group going into the online major. But I do believe we are ready to get into it through the very first Gridiron cast from me specifically. I don't. Have you done any? Have you done any just a couple?
Nothing public. Nothing public at all.
Nothing
We've done
public,
a couple
just
of
private.
test casts, but yeah.
Where was my
literally.
invite to the test cast? Who have you been doing that with?
I got some friends.
Right. Noted. Anyway.
No, it's definitely the first public one, and it's going to be good, I'm sure.
Well, here are the map picks. We are going to go into Bunker first, and then we will see District and Allfather's Arena shortly after. And if we need them, we will see Asylum and Vazgar. Vazgar's one we didn't really pick up on there. One of the ones that, of course, very... It's symmetrical to a point, but the circular map rather than the typical sort of 3 lanes of Gears of War. It's a little bit different, so I'm interested to see how that one does play out. But I think
plays a lot different on Gridiron, I'll tell you that much.
I can imagine. But a learning experience for all here. For me, it's the first time I haven't got to cast some of this. It'll be the first time that we'll see pro teams on certain maps. But we are ready to get in this one. It is going to be Bunker coming up first. And which team can take an advantage first? It's the best out of 5. The Gridiron tournament here live from Europe. And they're kicking off things with the first semi-final between Team Sick and Rated R. Where are you going? Are you going Rated R on this one?
I'd have to go Rated R in this one, but it is a Team Sick pick, so we got to give them the benefit of the doubt, and we got to at least think that perhaps they could have something up their sleeves. It's all going to be about these initials though, Chris. Opening up strong and getting that flag out. Obviously, you get points through delivering that flag. You get points through executions like that. And you also get points for possession if the round does time out. So we ain't going to see any draws here. It's all about the points every single round. And now a 3-4 situation here with Reader with the flag. It's looking good already for Team Sick.
It's 4v3 in their favor. On board with Reader. Marsh is going to find... Oh my god, is it E2 82037? We'll go with the E2 maybe. In that case, Marsh is going to go down though. That is going to be Reader. It is going to be Cookies on that account. Sorry. Marsh now is going to make a push forward. It's suddenly a 3v2 in favor of Rated R here, Fruit.
It is, you see, making their way towards his end zone, trying to get the delivery down. Oh, out of nowhere, there's the drop shot. There's one. And now we got a 2v1 situation. Can he get any more? No, he can't. He's going to go down in the end, but the drop shot to stop the touchdown at least was pretty good. The elimination coming in for Rated R though, and they get their first points on the board here, Ton.
Nicely done. Rated R in a bad situation there. It was a 3v4, and things nearly get a little bit interesting, of course, with the drop shot coming on through. That is, of course, up top Bunker. So keep an eye on that. But the flag is now going to move positions to down the lower side.
That's it. Off to the artillery area we go. And this makes it a little bit more complicated, right? Because the teams now have to split their resources. How many go up top? How many go towards the flag? And that's one of the big things about Gridiron is how do you manage those players? How do you manage the strategy? It's like Marsh is going to go for that quick pick. A couple of kills coming up top as well for Rated R. See them in a 5v3 situation. Marsh would do well here just to keep himself alive, keep that flag alive. Make sure he doesn't give up too much map control, but the kills, they're going the other way on the upside. Pains gets that kill with a drop shot as well, and a 3v2 now. From what looked to be a very, very good situation for Rated R is now a little bit closer.
Yeah, Team Sick definitely make this one a little bit more interesting. Staying with Marsh though, just trying to find some picks. That drop shot's going to go in. And that's something you got to be careful of if you are Team Sick in this situation. Marsh just playing with the flag, just playing his life, but there we go. Cookies is going to get dropped. Reader in danger of being knocked by the Boltok here. Shots going in, not able to find much with it, but Pains is eventually going to clean up one, and it will be Reader. Only one left to try and do something for his team here. 1v3 is not out of the question, although stuck in a really tough spot right now. Not going to be able to do a lot from here, just trying to put in damage where he can. If he can find one, then maybe he can fly. He is going to find a shot in, but not going to happen. Not enough time. Slazen holds him off. Another 2 points on the board here for Rated R.
Yeah, those 1v3 situations, if you've not got, grenades or a drop shot, boom shot, that kind of weapon, so difficult to really pull off that clutch, especially on Bunker, just because of how open that end zone is. There's not much to play around with. Maps that are a little bit kind of more condensed, we'll see it in Allfathers later, you have the opportunity to kind of bounce around in that end zone and make some plays, but Bunker, so open, makes it so easy for that, the team on the upper hand to deliver that flag, and we're seeing it here.
Shadows and Co, though, trying to get control of this drop shot. Still very much something they want to contest with, but Strikers and Co trying to combine in the middle. Pains did actually pick up a kill on his own teammates, but it's absolute carnage down low. It's suddenly a 2v3 in the favor of Team Sick. Reader and Co just trying to hold this one down in the middle. They do just about get the better of them. Slazen will pop in then, just make sure this drop shot maybe doesn't get picked up, but they do have the numbers. Slazen trying his best to try and slow this one down, but a 2v3 against the drop shot too would not be the best situation. for Rated R. Slazen up, does have the flag. Marsh finds a kill, and Slazen's off and running. He has to get going. The drop shot's coming in around his side, though. He is going to get damaged up. Is he going to get around the corner? Slazen, big plays out to him. Where's the second drop shot coming through? There it comes from Reader. Massive plays out to him, but now Marsh is on it.
1v1 situation here for Marsh. He's already taken a 1v2 down that artillery, and now he's got to beat Reader out of it. Reader, formerly Pro League, is having a bad time with this one as Marsh has got him so weak. There's the shot in the end, and Marsh will finish it up. There's the Batista bomb coming out. Ton, we got a game on our hands already.
Oh,
Marsh.
God.
Styling
I already love it.
here.
I already love it. The fact that Slazen's just like, screw this. I'm not having anything to do with this drop shot. And just hightails it, but gets taken out. Comes down to a 1v1. In the end, Rated R. The ones just about edging it here in every single round so far. 6-0 right now. And we need to see some points on the board here for Sick. They're not doing too bad in terms of, like, you know, keeping it close. It has come down to very small numbers. I think the worst situation they found themselves in was at 1v3. But it is coming down to these final couple of fights. If a couple start going their way, though, it could be a very different storyline. But once again, into the middle we go, headbutting each other. Let's see how it happens. It is actually going to be first kill going in. Oh, my word. Cookie coming out with a couple of kills there. Reader finding another. This is a clean sweep. It's a 1v4 for Marsh to try and pull off yet. Not looking great for Rated R in this round.
No, not really, no. You see that 1v4 situation. Marsh drop shot to the head. Gonna get one, actually. Gets two, and Marsh, he's not having any of it. I'm not sure he can get there in time to stop the touchdown, but getting those kills to his name. 7-1. Looking for the third now, perhaps. It is going to be the touchdown for Team Sick. They get themselves on that board. But Marsh, he's putting it on for the stream, isn't he? He really is.
Gridiron, it's crazy, bro. I love it already. You know, I sort of had, like, I said before we get into it, I was like, oh, you know, is it going to be... I know it's obviously map dependent. Is it going to be, like, sort of nice and slow where players are looking for picks? But no, these two are just very much like, right, you just want to meet in the middle and throw down. That's basically what's happened for 4 rounds.
I know, you know,
I mean, it's rated R. Would I expect anything else?
We were predicting maybe a little bit of a slower play from Team Sick, but they're happy to match, aren't they? They're happy to get down and dirty down in that bit of a bottom of a cave there. And we see Dragons first one to fall once again. Strikers and Pains, though, going to get two for their effort here. 4v3 situation now. Rated R, making a little bit of a push-up. See on the map, everyone is kind of still around. They're trying to find this flag carrier. It's going to be Cookies walking his way out here. But he is going to get collapsed upon very, very quickly. 2 members behind him, Marsh in front of him.
Not a lot he can do that. Yeah, not a lot he can do. Shadows, though, has managed to pick up that drop shot. So this isn't out the question, in all honesty. If he can find one more, he may have already used the rest of the clip in it, though. Shadow's trying to push forward, just trying to jink around where he can. That's another round over towards Rated R. Another 2 points on the board as well. 8-2 now. They are flying through this game.
They really are. And if you're Team Sick at this point, you got to think, okay, what's coming in that next half? Obviously, the weapons, they change places. They change what weapons they are, sorry, at the halfway point. And, you know, some teams better at first half than they are second half, or vice versa. So we might see a little bit of swing there. But this first half has definitely been Rated R favored, that's for sure. Even with the drop shot going the way of Team Sick a couple of rounds, it's still been that opening slaying power that has just pulled them through, has Rated R. They're going to try it once again.
Flag going to be picked up by Team Sick, maybe slowing this one down just a little bit. Although we say that, kills already starting to come in. Dragons is going to find Notorious. The drop shot comes through onto the flag carrier, and there it is. Pains finds one. It's suddenly a 4 versus 2 in the favor of Rated R. They will get a hold of the flag, and Team Sick just not quite getting the kills that they need to find. The drop shot going in up top as well, just trying to ward them off. Reader, though, has he been spotted? Yes, he has. He will be taken down. It's Cookies now left in a 1v4. Not an ideal situation, and unfortunately the last couple of rounds have been quite convincing from Rated R. He's going to maybe just find one. Pains will eventually end this, though, and that now makes it 10-2. 3 points away for Rated R here now.
That's it. They really are doing well. That first half, that's exactly what you want, isn't it? 10 for 2. Looking fantastic. And now having a look at that scoreboard just ever so quickly, we saw 13 eliminations up there. Tortbow now down. So the focus will be a little bit more onto that artillery side. We see the heavier weapon this time around, but we do still have grenades on the other side, so still lots to play for up top.
So the flag going down low now. Let's see if that does mix things up in this round. No, we're still going to have a massive scrap down low, but Team Sick very much getting aggressive underneath. Really good shots by Shadows. We'll get that up here onto Pains, catches him off guard. Which way does he want to go with this one? Trying to turn it around. The rest of the team are there to help him. Suddenly a 3v3. Marsh is actually going to take down Dragons with that talk bow. Which way does this fight go? That's a good spread by Shadows. He does actually have company here as well. Marshall will find one of the Shadows. It is only just a drop though. Here comes Strikers though. 2v2 is going to find one. Slazen finds another. Suddenly it's a 2 versus 1. Skills left all alone.
He's got to look at where he is. We can see on the minimap, he's got to hightail it back to this defensive zone here, to his end zone. But Rated R, they're so quick to rotate, like they are in Escalation, they are in Gridiron, making the moves ever so quick now. Slazin, Strikers, off towards the end zone they go. They know where Skills is. Skills got to push down that awful little chokehold, and he's not going to be anywhere near it. Rated R coming in, touchdown once again, 12 for 2.
12 for 2, looking very, very nice so far for Rated R. And it just comes down to that big gunfight in the middle of the map. It goes Rated R's way. Look at the eliminations. They were relatively close for the first few rounds, but really, Rated R have stamped their authority. Now, if you are Team Skill, or Team Sick, I should say, sorry, they must score 2 points, and no possession victories will do. They need to be flawless all the way through. We haven't seen any possessions even potentially develop. Both these two are like, well, you know, you got the flag, I'm going to start running at you. But here we go, down to the lower side, Pains and Co. Trying to get in there, but the good shots coming in through with the Lancer. Marsh is actually going to get a hold of that talk bow, so keep an eye on that. The Tori is going to drop Shadows, and Strikers will clean that up. So 4v4. Talk bow coming in. Rita with the flag. Do they choose to get aggressive to try and find the kills? Do they know where Marsh is with the talk bow? He's going to try and get a flick over towards this top bunker sign. Not going to be able to find it, though. Do they know where Rita is? Is going to spot the top of the flag. Rita gets the hell out of dodge, doesn't want anything to do with that talk bow. Marsh, is he going to be able to line it? Oh boy, just about gets the hit marker. Rita, though, is in a 1v4. This should now be the map for Rated R. Nicely done. And that will be map number 1. Going over towards Rated R in a convincing fashion. Very, very strong from them.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? It was extremely, extremely quick. And a 14-2 scoreline. I don't think any of us predicted that one. We thought it might be a little bit closer, but you got to look there. Strikers looking phenomenal on that. Marsh looking fantastic as well, and it seems Rated R for all their banning of canals. We can forgive that because they just put on a right show for us.
Yeah, that was absolute. It was just a clinic from them, wasn't it? You know, I don't really want to try and like delve into saying, oh, well, they just played this really tactical game of Gridiron. Nope, nothing tactical about it. It was literally just like 5v5 fight in the middle, bang. And they just went at each other constantly. And it was great to see. Really, really fast paced. A bit mental at times, it has to be said, but really well played. I think, you know, they just prioritized the weapons over anything else. I think they were very much going for the eliminations rather than really playing the flag. And it worked for them. It worked fantastically for them. In the end, they get it done 14-2. I think those early rounds really didn't help Team Sick. There was a couple that came down to some small margins, a couple of gunfights here and there. If they had went in the direction of Team Sick, it's a very different scoreline, of course.
Yeah, it would have been right, and maybe a little bit of momentum would start rolling then as well for Team Sick, but it didn't happen. Rated R, they shut them down, and you know, some of the things that they were doing, just the little things, like rotating all the way around the long side at the bottom of bunker rather than going through that narrow channel through the tunnel. That, for me, is just the mark of a team that kind of knows how this game plays out, kind of knows how their opponent would try and break them down. In that 2v1 situation, you know, Skills would have been wanting to try to force them into that chokehold, right? But they didn't give them that opportunity. And for me, that's good to see if you're Rated R going into these next couple of maps. It seems they're thinking about how Gridiron plays as a mode fundamentally, and they're making the right plays because of that.
And I think, you know, it is going to still be a learning curve for everybody. You know, I was asking players like their thoughts on what they would maybe like to see change, and they're like, well, we haven't played it enough, in all honesty, yet. So we want to try and make a decision. And I think this is why this tournament's in, to sort of get the players used to it, to see what they like about the mode, see what they don't like about the mode. You know, there's things like the smokes, which I think, you know, everybody has one, and that's maybe been a little bit of a complaint that we have seen, but we know it has been addressed to a point anyway. So we'll hopefully see something changed on that. But you know, this is what it's for. This is what this sort of thing is for. It's to develop it. It's to get it in a really good spot before it does potentially make it into pro player, which is what we all want to see. But of course, there is teething problems at the beginning. But from what I've seen there, honestly, absolutely loved it. I'm all for Gridiron. I'm all for it all the time. Just give it to me on a constant basis, and I'll be more than happy. It's quintessential Gears of War, isn't it? It's about that execution. You only have one life. You can't risk it too much, and that's what competitive Gears has always been about.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's you versus me, and if I kill you, that's it. And that's the kind of bread and butter of it, though, right? Like that's how it's that's how it's grown up as a competitive kind of community. Is can I beat you? Maybe not. It's me, but some players could. And honestly,
I think you
though,
do all right against me. In fairness, for you do.
Yeah,
all right.
but not against a lot of people in the chat. I know that much. But what I do know is that yes, it has that same feeling, right? It feels like old school execution. And for me, the levels, the intensity of that game we've just saw is a fantastic sign for what's going to come for Gridiron. As you said, teething issues, perhaps. Are they being addressed? Of course. And this is a fantastic test bed to have so many teams competing at this high level at it already. It's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a really good sign, but there you go, Rated R will take map number 1. And that was actually Team 6 pick as well, so that's going to hurt for them, and has to be said. Going into District, they would have very much liked a lead, but the fact that Team 6 pick Bunker and lose it 14-2, do you think it's taking the wind out of their sails a little bit? They would have been coming in like, oh, Pro League team, we've already beat one of them, let's have the second. And to get beat like that, it's got to be a little bit of a sting, surely.
I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, we can reference the Pro League if you want, and we can talk about the difference between Rated R and Obey Alliance as Pro League teams, right?
Very true. Very true.
It's literally like top bottom, and there's a long way between. So having that kind of false confidence, I think, would have been a misstep, and I don't think Vida would have led his team down that path personally. Yeah. But I do think you got to come in confident. But against Rated R, you've also got to come in smart, and I don't think headbutting the best fighting team in the league is that smart.
Yeah, I don't think so. When you talk about, these teams who love these initials, who do often come out on top of them, who would you name as number 1 in Europe for that? Yes, okay, Elevate, very, very solid team, but Rated R for me are the ones that are like that raw fly at you, fast-paced Gears of War, whereas Elevate can sort of sit back and pick you apart. That's what they're better at than Rated R. Rated R somewhat a little bit better at those first engagements. You don't want to go against Rated R like that. You're very, very right. I think they're a scary team when it comes to that. And it showed in their placement in Mexico. They caught teams off guard with their pace. They look very, very good against some very, very good teams as well.
Yeah,
it's an interesting concept, Rated R. I'm interested to see how they continue to do. Of course, after the Pro League season is done, we do have the online major. Very excited for that one, of course, and to see how they do in that. But right now, Gridiron's looking good for them based off one map. So it does sort of suit them. If teams are going to want to just go into the middle of the throwdown, they're going to get beat up. It has to be said. You look at players like Pains, you look at players like Dragons, how fast and furious they can be in that situation. Marshall's picking up 2 pieces here and there. Team 6 look like they have that to a point as well, but they can't go in and fight fire with Rated R like that. They've just been shown that on Bunker.
Yeah, 100%. You can't do it. And, we'll reference, the kind of old school execution style Gears. Teams used to go in and they used to practice initials, and they used to be very set initials, like Gridlock as an example way back when. You pretty much knew that the very base strat would be 2 up in the snipe tower and 2 down at the boom. And I'm not sure we're at that kind of level with Gridiron yet, where teams have such structured setups to counter other things. So teams really have to do this headbutt kind of thing right in the middle, right? They have to go in and fight them because they don't have the best setups really to deal with maybe a quick pick opportunity over at the drop shot, or, forcing a 4 or 5 man down at the torpo. There's a lot of things that will come with time, and strategy is one of those things.
Well, we will see maybe a different strategy on District. Curious to see if something different will come from Team 6 there, because, as I said, the first couple of rounds, they weren't too far off. However, it comes down to those small margins, and in the end, they just can't get away with it. They win a couple of other gunfights, and they're a very different story, but they didn't. And then from there, things just didn't go very well at all. But into District we go. I can see the game is loading in. Yeah. Excited to get into this one. District, very, very small, close quarters in the middle of the map, of course. That cinema fight that we do often see in Escalation to kick things off, especially if we see a mid-drop. That's what it's like, Gridiron. It's just like constant Escalation mid-drops of drop shots.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Like, that's all I want. Just give it to me. This is like my favorite thing about Escalation, but in a mode that does it every single round.
Yeah.
We're happy.
That's it. We're happy, aren't we? This is what we wanted. And we're going to get into District and see more of it now, as we do have Team 6 Rated R coming into this map too, obviously. Rated R, a fantastic first map. Team 6. They're going to look to try and close this out, though. Not close this out. Get themselves on the board, rather.
Oh, Notorious isn't able to get away. A bit of a noob roll there, and suddenly it's Cookies left in a 1v2. Wow, that one just very much transpired very, very quickly. Rated R just running this one home. Cookies now sort of caught in no man's land. No, he can't win this round. Maybe just try and take some casualties down with him. It will not matter though, the round going in the favor of Rated R. Very nicely done. They win that big fight over towards Cinema, and that is that done and dusted.
Yeah, straight away, isn't it? Very, very quick. Exactly how they'd want to continue this. Looking pretty strong. Marsh on -50. We'll give him that one. He had a fantastic first map. And it's all about the long game, right? It's all about how you finish, not how you start. So we'll see how he continues in this one. On board with strikers, he's going to be off towards the cinema. We know this initial, don't we? We know this initial from Escalation. We know how teams play it, how you should play it.
2 flashes coming in from strikers though. Trying to see what he can find. Not much else but the end of the shotgun of Shadows, who is going to go down. Drop shot coming in, bouncing all the way through. Dragons just about getting out of there in time. Suddenly a 3 versus 3. Make that a 2 versus 3 in the favor of Rated R. Now on the Swarm side. Marsh wins a fight in the middle of the map, and suddenly it is their round to lose.
That it is. You can see Marsh now pushing for this end zone. Trying to get this touchdown. A sneaky one perhaps. Notorious not really in position. The drop shot does come in. It's short though, and it will start to tick down once again. 2-1. There's the touchdown delivered. Signed and sealed. That's 4-0 now the scoreline for Marsh. That was a better round specifically. And the drop shot just too short, wasn't it? Just not quite on point.
Yeah, it's one of those where, you know, it doesn't matter what sort of round you're in. If you can get a drop shot, if it's a 1v3 or even a 1v4, you can maybe find 2 big kills. Suddenly it's a doable round. So that's unfortunate. You land that drop shot, and maybe it's a situation that Team Sick can come out of. But either way, Rated R will be 4-0 up. We go into it once again. Slazen going up against Rida. He's done this fight plenty of times before. Pins is actually going to go down to Dragons, so not the best start for Rated R. Skills then finds Dragons, who will not help his team whatsoever. Shadows trying to push through, will get a hold of the flag, and will eventually try to push on through with this one. Will Team Sick 3v2 now. Should be able to wrap this round. We can see on the other side of the map. It is going to be Rated R just in a fight in a completely different spot than they need to be in. And that's an overstep for Rated R. Has to be said. You know, you're making a big fight, making this push over towards the other side, towards Bandstand. And if you're Team Sick, you just push through and just push the other side of the map. It's easy enough done.
Yeah, that's it, right? I mean, that's one of the things you don't get from the maps like Canals, because you can kind of, you know, drop back to that next level of defense. So on a map such as Bunker, on a map such as District, if you win that fight on one side and, you know, you've got a decent numbers advantage, your other players on the other side of the map can keep the opposition engaged in a fight, and you have the flag, fantastic. Get that touchdown.
Well, here we go. Back into the ring once again. Pins is getting wiped out though. Notorious just flies forward. Dragons go, they're trying to find some shots where they can. Dragons can't get away out of this side of the cinema. He will eventually back on down. Notorious does have a hold of the drop shot and will continue to get aggressive. Will be Shadows. Nicely done here by Team Sick, and suddenly slays it. Left in the 1v4. He does have the flag. Is going to find one. Isn't going to find much else though. There comes the grenade. These rounds are fast and furious, but there you go. They will tie it up. And those small differences that they weren't winning last time around Team Sick, they've won them a couple of times here, and that's why the scoreline is so close.
That's it, isn't it? They've managed to find their way to find a few kills. They've gone through, they've found that touchdown previously, and this is better. This is a lot better for them. We haven't quite seen like a full like 1v3 clutch yet, but it might come with time. It might come with time. I thought we were on for one then, maybe, when that first incendiary got thrown in. Anyway, Slazen on this flower box, trying to get that up A. Just connect with his first shot nicely. Tags the toe there as well. But now they're on the opposite side of one another. They've got to be very, very careful, and you can see the kills. They're going in the favor of Team Sick on the other side. Slazen trying to average that one back out again, as Marsh has got this flag. We'll need a little bit of support from his teammate here. Marsh can't get out. The Lancer is great for Team Sick, and they do lock that one in. They get a couple more points on the board. 6 and 4 now.
Nicely done. Just win a lot of the fights over towards Cinema. Rida's pretty much the only person that is to go down in that big fight in the middle. Notorious picking up 11 eliminations so far.
Yep, 11 and 2. What a play so far. That's fantastic. He's one of those players that he sits just outside the kind of pro league teams, to be honest with you, but is a phenomenal talent. And you know, if a space opens up in one of the pro league teams, I know I'm getting him in the in the DMs, trying to find out his availability.
Slazen and Co back in once again. It's actually going to be a fight that goes in their favor, though. Shadow's going to go down, and that's it. It's once one falls, the dominoes do start to fall. You just have those numbers against you immediately. It's a 2v5 now. Rita is going to get a drop shot stuck in front of his face, and Dragon's now buying Cookies. He was actually going to find one onto Dragons that did have the nade in hand, and will self-suicide as that one does go down for Rated R. Very, very fast rounds here through. I think, you know, we were having this conversation before the tournament, like, well, the max that it can run is quite long. You know, this really could be a long series and could be a long night. Honestly, I think we might be done by 10 at this point.
If it carries
if
on this way, we
earlier.
might. Yeah. Obviously, we've not seen any kind of possession rounds yet. And for anyone not familiar with Gridiron, if the round gets to that 2-minute mark and one team has the flag, that team will be given the points. 1 point, though, not 2 points. So that's the eventuality that could happen when we see these longer rounds. But the way these teams are playing, the way they're kind of headbutting in the middle and playing these initials, we're not going to see that. We're never going to see that.
Well, we are going to actually see a slow round here. Seems as if it is not necessarily going to be that big 5v5 over towards Cinema, but we are still going to have some 1v1s going on. Skills is actually going to get a hold of the boom. A couple of kills going to fly in there as well. Cookies finds 2 and the flag. It's only a 4v1. Wasn't necessarily that big fight, as we said, that we do potentially see at the beginning of the round. I tell you what, if Dragons can catch him here, maybe try and get away, he would have had to try and have that element of surprise. Not going to happen this time around. Cookies is going to deal with him nicely. Done 3 round kills there for Cookies. 8-6 now.
8-6 indeed. Cookies, fantastic play there. And to be honest, you think Dragons might have been able to catch him off guard with just a little bit of a quicker play and a little bit more accurate shots on that Nasher, but in the end, still has 3 people to deal with, doesn't he? Even if he does do that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for teams to find themselves in those situations that come out on the other side of it, isn't it? Or one of you forwards just, unless you have a power weapon, it is not something we're going to see too often. It's very, very difficult to pull off. But it means when we do see them, we can lose our minds, at least through. But here we go, the kills. Oh, wow, very much going in the favor of Rated R this time round. They've lost a good amount of rounds in a row here, and they want to make sure they don't lose this one. A 1v5 now for Cookies. And yeah, this might be a little bit difficult. Hell finds one through the help of a teammate on the other side of the things, but it will eventually go down. Paints find a couple of kills, including his teammate there. Very fast rounds here, though. 8-8. Getting into it now.
So, isn't it? A much closer map. We said, you know, we might see them winning a map or 2 here, Team Sick. Well, this would be a good start. If they can get this one on the board, tie this semi-final up at 1 apiece, it'd be definitely good for the tournament, that's for sure. Obviously, second half now, we've got those weapon swaps in. We had them in the last round. Boom shot on the map. So teams will start to kind of differentiate. Do we go towards this flag? Do we go down towards that bandstand area? And how many people do we put where? Shot grenades are picked up. Marsh has those in hand. We see a down on Strikers from his teammate. He's going to get picked back up straight away, so not going to drop so quickly yet. Strikers finds that boom shot, but slays in. Going to get taken out. Does make this a 5v4. Those boom shots now, all the more important. Going to be able to try and get yourself out of here as well. You can see on that top flank, Cookies at the cinema. Just have a fantastic angle down here on Pains.
And has the flag to his disposal as well.
Yep, if they move too far, there goes the grenade, there goes the pickup, and that's a very nice coordinated play. Yep, I love what I'm seeing there from Cookies. Boom shot does find that kill on Notorious, but the flag now in the hands of the COG team here, of Team Sick.
So both teams seemingly calming down here through. A little bit of a slower round, and this is the other side of Gridiron, isn't it? You know, it can be that fast and furious, big 5v5 team fight, but it can also be slow attritional in affairs. But the boom shot to the face suddenly lights things up. Strikers don't miss, and Cookies is down. He's very much dead. Reader now in a tough spot. He's going to find one. Is he going to find anything else here? Is going to get put down, and suddenly it is a 1v3. And that just comes down to having a hold of that boom shot. Those power weapons doing the business. Skills now in a really, really tough spot. Yeah, 1v3, not going to happen. Rated R with another round on the board. 10-8 now.
Definitely. So we saw a nice play there, but the boom shot coming in, that was clutch. You don't usually see people go for those direct shots with that boom shot, but you know, he had to do it. He made it count, hit the shot, won his team the round because of it. And that's the power that boom shot brings. Although Cookies is winning that initial, winning that 1v1 fight at the cinema, all the map control in the world does not matter if the other team has got that boom shot and play it correctly.
Back into it once again. Those utility grenades are going to make a difference to these fights, but Notorious is going to find strikers. Suddenly it is a 5v4 in the favor of Team Sick. Map control, though, who does it belong to? Well, flag control belongs to Rated R. Pains has that one and he is out.
Yep.
So it's up to them to try and make a decision on what they want to do with this. But very much map control in the favor of Team Sick.
Yeah, definitely. So you'd think so, right? They've got that juice control. You can see Slazin, though, getting those marks through the grate, just making sure that his team know exactly where they are. And Marsh, with that flag, just holding it up at the back end, keeping himself alive. There's the boom shot coming in. Notorious has fallen as well, though, so still player advantage in the hands of Team Sick, but the flag still in the hands of Rated R here. Grenade's going to come through. That's not going to connect. And now the push comes in. There's an incendiary and a half from Dragons, though. Steps round the corner, lets it fly. That's a delivery and a half there. And now 3v3 situation. The timer may come into play at this point. We'll see what Rated R do with it. Now another incendiary, same place. Isn't able to connect with that one, but will force the movement. Dragons got to move out here, though. He sees players behind him. And if you're Rated R now, Ton, you got to start to rotate. You got to think about perhaps moving through the cinema, and that's exactly where they're going now. You see Cookies
seconds
on that low wall. There's the grenade going down. This will split the members of the Swarm team, but right now, it's all about that escort. Slazin doing his job, takes that boom shot to the face. Dragons is going to fall, and this leaves Marsh now 1v3 situation.
He does have possession of the flag, though. If he can continue to stay alive, a possession would have been on the cards, but in a very difficult situation. One of the longer drawn-out rounds we've seen there. The timer did tick on up in the end of 30 seconds to go, but 10-10 now. Getting into the nitty-gritty of it.
That we are. Flag moving down towards that boom shot as well, so as we look to differentiate these teams and push one team up to 12 points, all the attention going to be on that cinema fight, where both the flag and that boom shot do late.
Slazin and Cold up, trying to lock this one in. They'll be 1 point away if they can win this round via elimination. It is going to be a 4v4. Kills going backwards and forwards. Pains Dragons, though, are going to find this fight in the middle. Grenade's going to go in the hands of Cookie, and that's something to keep an eye on. Dragons and though, just trying to figure out what's going on in the round. They do have the man advantage, but Cookie's is somebody who's been causing a lot of problems here over towards Cinema side, but the fight over towards the flag is where it's going down. Skills and Notorious getting the better of Pains, and they will get a hold of the flag. 3v3 now is going to use the grenade to force him out. Here comes the fight from Cookies. If he can win this one, it would be big for his team. Second grenade going to come in. Slazin has to push, and it's so smartly done. But big shot's going to come in over towards this side of the map. Notorious is going to go down to the incen. The boom now in the hands of Dragons as well is going to pop it off, and he will find Skills. It's now a 1v2. Cookie's nowhere near it, and that's now 12-10 to Rated R. A big round there for them.
Match point, isn't it, for them? One more round. One more round is all they need. First to 13. We will see it go through. We will reset once more, but for Rated R now, you've got a couple of rounds. You see there, the COG, they've got to score 2 points to stay in this one. They need to draw it out here. They need to find a way to find that either the touchdown or the elimination win. Payne's going super aggressive up into these incendiaries. They do get the kill there. The down's going on Reader as well. Looks like he's been revived. Incendiary coming in for Notorious. Notorious finds the kill. The second incendiary's not good either. A little bit of choke here on the side of Rated R as Payne's trying to back out here. Will got crossed out. Will get shut down here. Skills behind him. The boom shot goes the way of Notorious as well in a 3v2 situation. Should turn very, very quickly, if not for an amazing play by Strikers there.
Gets one, gets out. Will eventually get dropped. Dragons now in a 1v2. We've seen him do these sort of things before. The boom shot in the hands. Yeah, that's the problem. It's the boom shot in the hands of Team Sick. That is the problem here. Smoke available, though. Gonna give himself a little bit of cover. Yep. One shot left in this boom shot. And if you're Notorious...
What you do now...
And Reader here, yeah.
Reader is the sacrificial lamb at this point. He goes up, he pushes out. He engages the fight, and Notorious cleans up with the boom. That's how you should play it. That's a very, very well-placed boom shot there. We will see it. 12 for 12 now.
Sudden death we go. Into round number 13. Winning this round takes the map. Mid-drop flag. Boom shot down towards bandstand. And it all comes down to this. All the marbles on this map. in this one round. Having to really pick your fights as best you can. It's going to come down for me. I want to see Cookies making sure he's picking up these initial kills. The 1v1s from him have been fantastic and a big reason as to why his team are in this game. But the incense and the grenades both picked up by Rated R. Rita is going to down Pins, but that's just it. 5v5 still. Drop shot in the hand of Skills.
Oh.
Big incense going to go over from Pins though, and a massive grenade coming out. Strikers who finds 1 and 2. 5v2 now. And looking on the side of Team Sick as well. No drop shot in the hands of either one of these members. Trying to put the shots in where they can. They can't. Notorious goes down. It's down to Cookies now in a 1v5. This will be something. If he manages to pull this one off, we'll find one. Not going to find much else but the spawn queue. 14-12 is the score. Rated R just about get it done in map number 2.
Took it right to the wire, didn't they? Dragons, 20 eliminations there for him on the board. 11 deaths. Will come out with your MVP for map 2, but not for trying. Team Sick, they really did push Rated R all the way there, Chris. And we saw actually a bit of life out of them, and I can see why now they tricked Obey a little bit. Yeah,
and honestly, I think for me, what I liked about them most is just the ability to have those 1v1s going in their scenario, their way. But I just feel as if you can't give those grenades up as easily as you have done. You've already seen how proficient Rated R have been with them throughout the rounds. And the fact that they're easily able to grab them, it's what the turning point goes to. 3 kills, a very, very quick flurry of 3 kills is ultimately what ended the round there. It was a 5v2 after that. And pretty much the game. Very well played by Rated, although they get it done when it matters in the final round, of course. But what a start it's been to the tournament. I mean, that was a very, very close map. First map, not so much. It was fast and frantic. But we go over towards All Fathers with Rated R 2-0 up now. They've got to be feeling good about their chances to close this out 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you had a fantastic first map. You've tested your bottle a little bit on that second map and gone to that last round, but you've come through fighting, and you know you've actually played it really, really well. They shocked out the boom shot and made sure no one could play down there, and actually went for the 2 other options on the map, which you think in around 13 that takes a lot of gut, doesn't it, to make a very brave, risky play like that. But they were confident and they came through, and now going into map 3, that's everything you need to come through and close this out 3-0. That you've got the fuel now. You just need to go through with it.
Yeah, let's see why I'm trying to get this one set up as quickly as we can. And hopefully we'll get into All Fathers very, very shortly. Do you think we see a map 4 or 5 here? Because I don't know if we do after that. I think in the fashion that they went, Rated R very, very confident in map number 1, win that one comfortably. But then when it comes to District, a very close loss for Team Sick. It's got to hurt, hasn't it? Surely it's gonna hurt them quite a bit, and you've got to imagine that they'll be tilted a little bit. Because I mean, I would be. I would be at this point. You know, I think going into map number 3, knowing that you could have done a lot better, especially in map number 1, and could have possibly won it at map number 2, just have to have a solid head about you. But Rated are a very good team. Very, very good team.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they're the best team in Europe right now for a reason, and that's because they can come up and clutch out when it matters. And well, that was exactly when it mattered. I think talking about All Fathers, just very, very briefly, what I will kind of say is that, yes, the initials play out, you know, kind of similar to District in that you kind of headbutt down in that drop shot or at the snipe. But what I do like about this map is the open center. This really works on team play, and this I think will actually be a little bit slower. If the opening team fights are set up correctly, we might see some quite stale-ish rounds. I don't like using that word, but in comparison to what we've just seen, I think they might be a little bit slower.
Methodical.
Yeah, we'll go with methodical. That's a little bit of a better one. But I think honestly, I think that's what you can see in All Fathers though, just because of how open it is, and then your snipers really do come into play, right? Then your Boltocs do come into play, and you start to see very kind of well-crafted, well-coordinated plays come out, and that's you know that's what Single Life for me is about, is seeing how teams break down the other team. And Rated R, they've been the team so far that have done that and have shown me at least, you know, a lot of promise actually in this game mode.
Yeah. When it came down to even those solo rounds, they did seem to have the better of them, didn't they? But I mean, I'll not lie. You said you like the slow, methodical, breaking each other down. I like it when they go in the middle and just start throwing, just start swinging. I love to see it. They just, I mean, those big, Yeah, well, I know it's going to be torched by the end of the day. And of course, we've got the Pro League ending next on Monday as well. Make sure you guys click a follow on the channel and do watch that if you can, if you have spare time on Monday. I can see there's loads of you in here, nearly 3,000 viewers. We love to see that. I know you're here for the skins, but you're here for Gridiron as well. Make sure you do stick around. You will pick up as many skins as you possibly can, of course. And make sure you watch the NA broadcast if you do want to get that Wyvern Snub skin, which I think everyone really wants. So make sure you are tuning into both. I'm going to make sure I'm going to be tuning into the NA broadcast as well. To be honest, we'll be going on as long as when it's going to come to the point of where they're going to be going live, I'd imagine. Although based on those first two maps, maybe not. Maybe we'll be over and done before then, or well before then, at this rate. But we are nearly ready to go into All Fathers. Are we thinking this is 3-0 now?
I think we've got to bet that way, haven't we? I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, I'd love to see it go to that map 5.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, Rated R, they've shown me so far that, yeah, they can win when they're ahead. They can claw it out when they need to. And I think All Fathers, it really does suit the team that are well coordinated, that are able to craft plays, as I said, and able to just kind of hold their composure as well. You get pressured a lot on All Fathers. There's a lot of sight lines, a lot of ways to kind of cross out the opposition. So being able to hold your nerve and not panic in a spot where maybe you're getting shot by 2, 3, 4 people, that really does come into play here. And Rated R, they've been in that situation so many times. I think they'll be fine here. I think they'll come out 3-0.
Well, you can see we are loading into the map, so we're going to be getting into All Fathers very quickly. I'm feeling the same way, to be honest, Farouk. I think just with the way that they've played so far, every different situation, in some respect, has went in their favour, and very much in a great position in this series. 14-2 in map number 1, 14-12 in map number 2. We head over towards All Fathers for the first time on an official broadcast anyway, and I'm very excited to see this one. Rated R's pick. If you are Team Sick here, you've got to be a little bit worried. If you can send it to Asylum, no, that's your pick, and maybe we do see about Asgard if we can get there. But if you are Team Sick, All Fathers Arena is one that you have to take.
Yeah. And we got to remember here that this is a Rated R pick. This is Rated R saying, hey, we don't care that we've played all the other maps in the Pro League. We're going to go somewhere completely different, new territory, where we're going to, be one of the first teams that will, extend our map pool and really start to push the other teams out into those unforgiving situations. So what we're going to see here is a brand new map, a brand new mode, and hopefully a very exciting game at hand as well.
Make sure you answer the questions coming up in the chat. Will this go to map number 4? Oh, I don't know. I think there'll be a lot of no votes there, the way that Rated R played here, and they're now going to be on the COG side of things. And it will be Team Sick on the Swarm side, of course. Straight into the middle. Will the flag be this time round? And of course, this big fight down low for the boom shot. Painsico trying to set up Marsh. Will find the first kill in the middle. Strikers finds another. It's a fantastic start for Rated R. They get the better of every single member of Team 6 so far. It is going to be Cookies now left in a 1 versus 5. That round is done in the blink of an eye for him.
Yeah. So quick. The fight over at that downside with the boom shot areas. Very quick indeed. And Marsh holding his own in that 1v1 against Cookies means that they clean it up very quickly. I don't think I'd want to have any other player in that 1v1 spot. Maybe Crimson's, maybe the Marsh. I honestly feel like he's so well suited to this game mode and this kind of mode, and having him as that kind of anchor player on the other side of the map. So good. Oh. There you go. There's another kill coming out. So quick, so perfect. I love what I'm seeing here from Marsh and Rated R as well.
Oh, they're looking good. Oh, they're looking so good. This Lazen and Co styling now on Team Sick as every single member goes down once again. They're like, you want to keep throwing down in the middle of the map? Are you sure you want to keep doing this? 4-0. And that is very quick. Nicely played by Rated R so far. Now we are going to move down the hallway side. Is this going to make a difference potentially for Team Sick?
We'll have a look. We'll see if it does. Marsh going to be leading the charge down there towards that flag. Obviously, 3 players from either team still working their way over to the opposite side. So we will see Pains get that boom shot out. Will fire one. Isn't able to connect anything, but Dragons comes in with a clean up there. That's Notorious falling. Skills finds one. The boom shot will get another kill, but Marsh falls in that 1v1, so Cookies does find the kill over there. We see Skills He's going to get taken as that meat shield, and now a 1v2 situation. Strikers on the defense. Does have the opportunity here to go for this 1v1 situation. Yeah, he's got the split here. The nade goes down, the back A comes out. The Strikers now in a rough spot. Isn't able to connect with anything just yet. Runs through the instant, does get taken out by the fire, but it was a good attempt, and that's a well-played defense. A well-played attack, but a well-played defense there as well from Rated R. Because they come through, and you see what he did? He split the players. He managed to find himself in a 1v1 with a flag carrier.
I think in those situations, you've got to go for it. You know somebody's come behind or maybe a little bit late to the party. You have to try and isolate.
Correct.
He tried to do that, but the utility, the grenades available for Team Sick just made things a little bit more difficult. Pick up the smokes over towards the boom once again. Plenty coming down. Payne's just trying to linger, take his time. Kills already going in the favor of Rated. All the good shots by Paynes. Notorious is going to be cleaned up with the help of his teammate, but here goes Skills, who is going to find another. Suddenly it's a 3 versus 2. Make them a 3 versus 1 as the boom will be picked up. Once again, it's Cookies. Left in a 1 versus 3.
And Marsh just finding that opening kill on Reader once again in that middle section. Just opens up the whole map. If you lose the mid, you know, what you lose there is map control, and you lose those angles into the 2 side rooms down the hallway. And honestly, you end up losing the map. It's so difficult to win when you don't have any control of that middle route. And Marsh opening up and finding that kill, it's been crucial for Rated R.
They always seem to have the number advantage, and it is making a big difference. Your smokes going down towards the flag and boom shot now. Flag going to be in the hands of Paynes. Is he going to get out unscathed as well? Just about, but his team will not. Notorious turns round, finds another. Is he going to be able to find much more massive players out on Notorious there? The elimination ticks on through ever so quickly. 6-4 now. Still in this one, Team Sick. And you know, we've seen glimpses of some very, very good play out of them.
Yep.
It's just it hasn't been consistent enough. They can keep doing that. They're back into this game. And they can hang on occasion, but majority of the time Rated R getting the better of them, but when Team Sick win a round, they win it convincingly as well.
That they do. They find those opening kills and they translate it into rounds very, very quickly. And it's Notorious usually opening up those fights. See, Incense going the way of Reader in that middle section. We are going to see a 4v3 down here now this time around, and those Incense do come in. They do come into play. Strikers falls, Dragons does too. Marsh is going to get a headshot. The boom shot goes the way of Team Sick, and this should be a very, very easy touchdown for Reader. It's not even going to come to it. The elimination is going to come through, and we're going to get drawn back up here at 6-6.
Nice quick round. 6-6. We've had a close map already. Drop shot coming in towards hallway now. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Flag on the opposite side though. Can Rated R close this out in 3, or can Sick give themselves a lifeline in this one? Still a few more rounds to go. Paynes has been so impressive. Yeah, there's a lot of people around here, but Paynes has been impressive for me. He really has been playing the flag a lot. Marsh is here though, but I think Paynes actually managed to put some shots into Marsh, and he will go down. Suddenly it's a 2 versus 4 in favor of Team 6. Strikers is going to find 1 though. Made that a 2 versus 3. Big fight going on here, but I tell you what, Reader has slipped the net. He said, you know what, I don't want any part of that. We will run that flag all the way home. 8-6 now, 3 rounds in a row, 3 big rounds in a row for Team Sick.
Very, very big indeed.
Yeah.
And you got to give it to Reader there, haven't you? I mean, that touchdown coming in, he realized his team, okay, we're in a 2v4 situation. My team have got the other players engaged. What do? I'm going to go for the touchdown. I want to get those 2 points in the bag as quickly as possible, move on, keep this momentum rolling, and keep it as, you know, as free-flowing as it can be. They don't want to get caught up in sticky fights where you see Strikers getting a kill here and there.
Let's see which way this one goes though. Plenty of shots going to go in. Paynes not really helping his teammate out here. This fight over towards this side of the map not working out whatsoever. For Rated R, I should say. Cookies is going to go down with the flag though, so suddenly it's a 3 versus 3. And Marsh has just left that flag. He doesn't want any part of it. He wants to make sure they can try and win this fight because they know drop shot is something they have to be careful about losing. They already have lost it now. They got to be careful with that one. Skills going to find this in towards Slazen. They're trying to chase him down. Still a 3 versus 3. They have to be careful where that flag is though. Eventually this one is going to get cleaned up. Slazen's going to find 1. And Marsh goes down at the same time. So suddenly it's a 2 versus 2. The flag is in the hands of Rated R though. Paynes has this one. I tell you what, if Pains can win this fight, he's got a free run home, in all honesty.
Yep, you're going to be so careful, and Pains does win that fight. You see now the crossfire coming in, skills, jumps the barrier, does get taken down. No, he's still alive, but the drop shot comes out, doesn't quite hit it. Pains, he's going to get the touchdown in the end. It wasn't for trying, but it will go over towards Rated R here. The drop shot just too short in the end.
Big round that. Big round. If Team Sick can take that, they maybe had the positional advantage to a point, and maybe they just dropped off a little bit too much there through. They really started chasing kills, and it meant they got dragged into their own spawn, meaning they can't really push it out. If the flag does start to come, they have to make a movement, and they have to make something happen. 8-8 now. Could have been 10-6 to Team Sick there.
Could have been. Definitely have been, and then, you know, they'll kick themselves if this comes down to that 12-12 once again. Down starting to come in here. We see Slazen's going to die out, as is Shadows. We see Cookies fall as well, but Pains, he's going to reply now. 3v2 situation. Great pistol coming out of Pains there. And that should be pretty much it. The flag's going to go over. The drop shot is going to go over as well eventually. Reader in that middle is going to get smoked out, and there's not really much he can do now. He's having to chase. Realizes he's got the short route. He can make that way through. Drop shot still in hand here. Nice bit of wiggle room for Reader, but in the end, some very accurate shooting comes in from Rated R, and 10-8 now they go ahead.
A very difficult fight for Reader to win that. 1v2 is very doable, but if you just wolf pack up, you never really should be losing them. Here we go, back to the center circle. Seeing a lot of fighting going on towards that drop shot, though. See which direction everybody goes.
Yep. That's it, isn't it? That's it.
Plenty of people going over towards drop every single time here for him. Putting a lot of investment into it, as you should. Smokes down to try and distort the enemy. Which way are we going? Oh, plenty of downs coming in. I have no idea who's winning this round. 2v5, suddenly 2v4, 1v4, everybody dropping. And suddenly, it is going to surely be Team Sick. Marsh left all alone in a 1v4. It's surely not going to happen for him. He goes down. 10-10 now. Very close map once again.
That's it, isn't it? It's so close. And if you're Team Sick, again, could have been 12-8 up at this point in time. You got to look at this now. They're starting to win these initials. They're starting to look pretty good. Shadows, 13-8. Reader, from a pretty bad start now, sitting second, 10-5. Doing the job he's there to do, hitting those incendiaries, crossing for his team.
Going into these later rounds, everything becoming a lot more important. Smokes out. That's nice from Shadows. Is he going to be able to make a push for this one? The Lancer Fire just going on through. They'll be getting marked up. Shadows pushing. Maybe a little bit overzealously there. Is going to get dropped as well. The Hammer Burst coming out for Pains.
Yeah, not used too much, is it? But
yeah, it'll cause a lot of issues, though.
It's so dangerous. Those headshots coming in, those little burst rounds. Able to get so much damage down. Good push coming in here now. 4 Rated R. You can see them pushing Notorious out in that Hammer Burst. Those red hit markers through the smoke doing a lot of damage here. 5-4 situation. The flag in Rated R's hands means they will get the point at the end of this one if it times out, but they're going to look to close this one out. They've got that numbers advantage.
They do. They should really be trying to make the push. They're just trying to get the best position on the map, you feel. But they don't need to be the ones making the move yet. They are going to find another drop, though. Notorious is going to go down. It's now a 5v3. If you're Team Sick, you need to start finding some fights. One's going to go in the direction of Rated R, but the rest going in the team favor of Rated R once again. 12-10 now. 1 round away from winning it. You need to turn up if you're Team Sick. Do or die now.
It really is, isn't it? It's so close for Rated R. 1 more round. They punch their way through to that grand final where they fight for best part of 10 grand, isn't it? It's a fair chunk of money.
It's a good chunk for a couple of series of Gridiron, I tell you that. But here we go. Team Sick must score 2 now. Rated R win on a possession. Shadows and Kodo. Yeah, they need to find this opening fight. They haven't been able to so far. Dragons is going to get the drop shot as well. This fight's so crucial. Marsh will find 1. Oh, and Dragons will find 2 with a drop shot. He gets out and he sends everybody back to the respawn queue. Nicely done by Dragons. Give him a clap, everybody in the chat. So well played. Cookies is going to find 1. The push doesn't need to come through. Dragons does not miss. 14-10, 3-0. Rated R,
That's a
get it done
GG.
convincingly.
What a drop shot play. Quad kill on that last round to win the series. That's what you want, isn't it? That's exactly what you want.
And the fact is, he gets in, he doesn't just panic fire from the hip, which we do so often see.
Yeah.
He steps back, composes himself, sees where everybody's pushing, and bang! See you later. 14 to 2, 14 to 12, 14 to 10. Rated R go through to the grand finals, which will be later tonight, the second semi-final after this. But wow, what a performance by Rated R.
Yeah, you can't knock him for that, can you? I know we've said in Escalation a few times, we've seen the Rated R guys jumping on Twitter and being like, Dragons, he's a beast, he carries us. That's why. Those kind of clutch moments where, you know, it's right down to the wire and he just picks up a quad kill out of there, and that's the type of player that you want on your screen, right? On your team, sorry, not on your screen. And he's just fantastic. I mean, yeah, if you're watching, you want him on the screen as well.
Both is fine, but there you go. Really, really well played by Raiden R. Massive players out of Dragons. And I just think, you know, these huge fights with the weapons on the line, it's chaotic. It is very chaotic, but it's just so fast, and it just goes in Raiden R's hands if you want to play that way. But you need to play that way. You need to fight them for these weapons, or if you are going to try and play slow and methodical, you're going to be in a bad spot if you aren't able to pick up some kills or at least some map pressure with the flag. But let's have a look at the bracket to see how things are broken down so far. Rated are 3-0 against Team Sick. They will finally put themselves in a spot in that grand final, and they will be playing the winners of Elevate and Regal Reserve, which is coming up next. Where do you go if you're Team Sick from that one? I think, you know, you battled through, you did beat Obey to find yourself in this position. So, you know, you got to be happy to a point to get the semis, but they would have wanted a lot more, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously you want to go through to that grand final, but I think if you're Team Sick, you look at those scorelines and they're not horrendous, right? It's not like you just got battered. It was right down to the wire on 2 of those 3 maps, and for me, that's a very promising sign for this series of players, this 5 players, because they have the skill, quite obviously. They can fight, they can open those initials. Yep. Just when it comes down to the wire, the veterancy, the skillfulness, and you know, the composure that Rated R bring to the table was just too much.
Well, there we go. Rated R will put themselves in that final first and foremost up against Team Sick. But we'll find out who they're going to be playing after this quick break. It's going to be Elevate against Regal Reserve.